Pretty good.
I'm going to clap and then we're going to be silent for my intro, okay? So feel free to make noise until I clap.
Back off.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm done. Yabbies!
I'm Neo.
Hey. Give me.
Hey. You can clap again if you want.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Musically Challenged podcast. I'm here, Julian, as usual, with Sam and Mike.
I have crippling depression.
Oh, hello there!
And for whatever reason, we decided to add a fourth opinion to the mix. So, Jay, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, I'm Jay. I decided to join these bonobo apes for third episode of Musically Challenged, and I am less musically challenged than these three.
Welcome to the
less
enclosure.
challenged overall, I'd say.
Well, yeah,
less challenged.
that's generally the case. Yeah.
What have you been listening to lately, Jay?
A bit of everything. I'm a bit of one of those. I kind of don't really specify with genres.
I see what you mean.
Danny Brown. I mean, obviously in the run up to this, but even prior to this episode, that's why I decided to come on this.
Why
one.
wouldn't you?
Damn boy.
Because he's a rat.
Aside from that, anything flows really. New stuff, old stuff, I love it all.
Cool.
Sexual.
Mike, what's been your jam lately?
Again, entirely episode research. Later in the episode, we're doing Arctic Monkeys. There's a bit of a difference of opinion in this podcast. I want to tear them a new arsehole. Alex Turner, I'm coming for you. Run! That's all I've been listening to, Arctic Monkeys.
Sam?
I've been listening to some Danny Brown, obviously in preparation. Reluctantly been listening to that. But
Anything we're not doing this episode?
Yeah,
right?
anything. Basically, whenever I'd feeling like killing myself after listening to Danny Brown for too long, stick on some Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
Lovely,
nice.
Good.
classics.
Love it.
Album, what else?
Or...
Yeah, which album?
Which album?
Neon Bible today.
Yeah.
And then a bit of Funeral as well.
My favourite.
Love it.
No good.
No
All good.
Reflector. It's not allowed.
That's another opinion segment for another episode.
Fight me, cunt.
We'll get there in the end.
We'll get there in the end eventually.
Eventually.
Well, so...
Well, and now, prepare yourselves for the 15-minute segment. Julian, what have you been listening to?
Like, just old stuff. Barely anything new, apart from this this interesting thrash metal group, or like melodic death metal group called Silosis, who are pretty fucking intense, and who you guys probably won't like because they're screaming in it. I don't know how Jay feels about metal.
Not a fan of the screamer.
I fine, stay closed-minded.
I can do noise
okay.
rock, I can do like crazy noises, but
yeah.
as soon as
Not
it's
the
a voice,
voices.
As soon
I
as
just
someone
can't
starts
do it.
screaming,
Yeah.
Turns me off.
That's fair enough.
I go flaccid.
Can we get to the first point of main discussion for this episode? Danny Brown. A couple of albums before this latest one he released, Atrocity Exhibition.
including Pixar's Ratatouille.
Fuck off. I'm taking your place.
Please do it, Jay.
Mate, I was waiting for that.
He makes my bed soggy, Sam does. So you need to save my bed. Make me flaccid. Stop it.
Jesus Christ.
So...
This is a fucking episode already. Sorry, go on.
Danny Brown, yeah?
Danny Brown.
So, so back in 2011 he released his debut commercial album called Triple X,
Ratatouille.
which was kind of quite hyped up because he released a mixtape the year before called
Exciting.
The Hybrid, which I actually haven't listened to, but from what I've heard on Triple X,
Fucking normie.
it was yeah. From what I heard on Triple X, I was pretty hyped to know that Danny was coming out with a new album. And he did actually release an album in 2013 between the two called Old, but the impression I gathered from that...
But it got old quick.
A lot of other people, it got old quick. It was more like stylized towards festival bangers.
That's pretty good.
Than, you know, than your standard issue, weird...
Sorry,
You're a confused rat now, Sam. You're a confused Danger Mouse. Right, go on, Julian.
So yeah, he released this album this
I
year.
feel like I may have contradicted myself, calling you both autists, and
And then you doing
just
this.
making noises.
Why else do we do the podcast if we can't be a little autistic from now to then?
It's hard having to keep it all in when you're at uni, you're
Mm.
around the general public.
You can't just blurt out in lectures.
Yeah, this podcast is like therapy for us, I feel.
Yeah. I'd
I'd explode.
be in algebra for too long and just start shaking because I just want to like screech.
No, don't do screamo, it'll turn me off!
Sus, mate. I know you get fucking hard in algebra. I can't be turning
Well,
you off.
you know I do. I can't help it, you know. I can't help it. There's another reason for doing computer science and maths. Go on, Julian.
So I really like this album. I really like this
I
album.
fucking don't.
We'll get to your shit opinion in a minute.
Should
Sam.
we hold off for like
Yeah.
15 seconds?
Yeah, let's-
15 seconds max.
let's-
15 seconds synopsis. Danny Brown's it's very experimental. There's a bunch of different style beats on it. There's loud, noisy production. There's some more abrasive stuff. There's post-punk inspired stuff. You look back to Joy Division for a bunch of influence. Then there's a Joy Division sample on one of the songs, and a lot of this album just fucking bangs. I mean, it has to be said.
The title of the album, Atrocity Exhibition.
Atrocity Exhibition, of course,
Shout out
was
to Joy Division.
a Joy Division song title. First track from their album, Closer.
So he quite literally wears his influences on his
album sleeve.
Album sleeve, yeah.
There you go.
And he's also a rat.
That's true. On side note, also vermin. Right, so,
Alright,
so
now let's get a constructive criticism-based opinion.
constructive criticism. This is called this is my reading of my Danny Brown notes. I listened to this when I should have been doing algebra work and made notes on every one of the songs.
Yeah?
It's mostly just a stream of consciousness of me listening to it, so I'm going to try
Stream
and
of
like,
autism. Yeah.
it's the same thing, mate. I'm going to try and bring it into more concise points, because there are some things which are just like, just Kendrick, fuck yes, stuff like that.
That was on track 4.
So yeah,
really
so alright. So my main consensus on this album was the beats, the experimental beats, generally fucking banging, mate.
Yeah.
They're good. I like them very much. But this is then balanced out by his fucking rat voice. So
Please continue.
So the first song, Downward Spiral, starts off
And downward back.
exactly.
You hear his voice.
Yeah,
It
you
is
hear
a-
his
it
voice,
is a
so it's
downward
already
spiral.
a negative.
Yeah.
But I put I like the instrumental, though I think in most of the songs I've written decent instrumental. I thought his rapping was a little bit off in the first one. I don't know what
Okay.
it was. It was not that good.
It's one of the
I don't know.
slower cuts on the
I
album,
could do
so-
better,
yeah.
is all I'm saying. Come at me. But I did think that the song was quite brooding.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I found that in a lot of these songs, they're quite brooding and evil. And
Foreboding.
Would that be the
And
Joy
foreboding.
Division influence?
That may well be the
It could be.
boomy post-punk influence
Indeed.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is it's kind of a concept album about his, well, like every Danny Brown album is about how he used to do drugs, basically.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's a bit crazy
Good
for
band.
a rat. Yeah, go on, Sam.
So yeah, then you cut to Tell Me What I Don't Know.
Bang.
Yeah, banger. I've put Thank God Not the Rap Voice.
See, what's
it's-
funny
it's
about
pretty
that
chill.
is it was still him.
Yeah,
singing.
Yeah,
rapping,
that
but-
it is him.
Back
but
on
he's
Triple X 5 years ago when he
Yeah.
released, he rapped like that much
Yeah.
more often than he did his.
So
Hey,
it's-
I better go
Others.
back and listen
so
to
he's
it.
not a
Triple
rat,
X.
Sam. He's just
No,
doing a rat.
he's a
rat.
rat.
He's not a rat. He's now a rat furry.
Yeah. It's a
I kind
lot.
of like him more now. I hate it.
It's a lot like how Will Smith isn't actually a fish, but he does an impression of a fish in Shark Tale. Movie classic movie of the generation. Defined my childhood. That's why I'm so fucking autistic.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So Tell Me What I Don't Know. Quite chill, bassy instrumental. Like it very much.
Common theme throughout the
Yeah.
album.
Then we got Rolling Stone. Has a feature.
does have a feature.
It has a feature.
From Petit Noir.
Yes.
Ooh.
I liked it very much.
It's got a good singing
Very
voice.
melodic.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it works very well with the bass beat.
Ooh.
Yes.
Hey.
And I found that in this track, the craziness of Danny Brown's voice and the sort of mellowness of the features voice, I liked it. It worked well together.
Okay.
I found that sometimes his rap voice works, but other times, you know,
It's a rap voice.
sometimes you're just not in the mood for Ratatouille, are you? Right.
Ratatouille's a fucking meal.
No, it's a
There's a
so there's a film. Have you not seen?
There is a meal.
Five
What?
Pixar?
His
film's
name
about
is
the meal.
Remy. His name is not Ratatouille.
There's lots of rats in Ratatouille. Mate,
But there's one Danny Brown.
yeah, but he's
Why does he have to star in Ratatouille? Why can't he be one of the other blokes?
he's
The other little
one at the
rats?
back.
Yeah.
That you know that bit in Ratatouille where like that granny gets a shotgun, shoots it,
Yeah.
and all the rats fall down.
That's Sam
Yeah.
getting
It
angry
should play like
at the album.
Ratatouille. Not Ratatouille. It should play Danny
Danny
Brown.
Brown, no.
Like downward spiral. It should fucking shoots up the house. Cause it's the downward spiral. Anyway, next one. Really dope. Oh, what a good tune. Mostly because it's got flipping Kendrick Lamar on it for most of it.
Because he's on the hook. He does
Yeah,
all the hooks
oh,
in between
it's so
the
good.
verses, as
It's
well
like
as his own verse.
Yes, it's got a very cool instrumental with like xylophone, glockenspiel,
Some
Something.
chimes,
something plinky plonky, and a
it-
bit of bass guitar.
but it sounds good.
It's creepy. It's spooky.
It is spooky.
In the theme of Spooktober.
Yeah, of course.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah,
He
and
released it last
Kendrick's ghostly rap style works very well with this. I found.
Kind of airy.
Lost. Short track. It's like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Instrumental, very weird. It's very sample heavy.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Avalanches
Quite a bit.
quite a lot.
Hey, that's
Like
pretty
Frankie
good.
Sinatra.
Like Frankie Sinatra.
Ah,
Have a go. You know.
Frankie
You
Sinatra.
haven't sung too many
Frank
times.
Sinatra. What do you mean? I sang a couple of times in the last episode.
They were AV screams.
No,
They
no,
weren't
I'm
singing.
saying you sung lots of times on the last episode, but you haven't sung.
Oh!
Wow. Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. If you keep that takes 10 years off my fucking life.
I said I didn't like Screamo, but I like that. Julian, you're on the list, mate. The
So
gangbang list.
Mate,
Me, you, Bjork, Tom York.
Can I be between Bjork and Tom York?
Yeah.
no, that's where I am. You
No.
said I was on the list.
You're at the bottom of the pile, Sam.
I'm
Fine,
gonna
I'll be
get
on top
squished.
of Bjork. I don't
Fuck.
care.
You wet my bed, so you made my bed soggy. That's where you going.
Feel free to join in, Jay.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I can join in on that one, to be
You
honest.
can. Come on.
You're gonna have to show him the list.
I don't.
You could,
I don't want to be anywhere in that.
you could what?
I-
I
come
don't,
on,
I
don't
don't
know
wanna
about
be in
that.
Wait,
that.
let me.
You
Look,
could watch.
You know,
Bjork though.
Side.
Bjork though. Bjork though.
She's quite old now, isn't she?
Yeah,
Like 50.
but
What does that matter?
What is age?
It doesn't.
She,
It makes no difference to
she,
her.
I don't know.
And,
She's a MILF
Yeah,
going,
but
on,
I mean,
going on
but
guilt.
there's gonna be you two.
She's only 50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When she's like 60, that's like.
From what I can understand, there's going to be Mike, Julian, Sam,
Yep.
Bjork, and Tom York.
Yeah.
So
There were other people as well, weren't there?
There was the members of the Sugar
Oh yeah,
Cubes.
all the other members
Yep.
of the Sugar Cubes.
All the
Are
members
there
of
any
the Sugar
female members in the Sugar Cubes? Or are they all
I think the rest of them were male.
male?
I will fact check
Okay.
Oh
that.
boy, so
Hey, that's pretty good.
So basically, it's
No.
going to be like 10 people running a train on Bjork.
She's probably into that.
No, there's not
Yeah.
enough animals. She confirmed. No.
No, honestly,
Hear me out.
Here we go.
Go on, Julian. You,
Right,
you
so
tell
she
it as
did.
it is.
She did an interview with the Evening Standard
Why have we started talking about Bjork again?
because we always
Because we're
do.
talking about rat, and she loves the rat.
Okay,
She'd fuck Danny Brown right in his rat boy pussy.
okay, here we go.
Quote for the age.
Starts off with, I like bestiality. I get turned on by nature. I don't find urban big porn.
Oh dear.
I say I've always had a thing for David Attenborough.
Oh dear. And this is quite a talented lady as well. I mean,
Exactly.
Wow, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Very talented.
Michael, let it slide. He's halfway there to bestiality.
Yeah.
His goddamn fursuit. So
I'm not a furry. Honest.
Yeah, you're fucking scaly, mate.
Alright, Sam, do you want to resume your
Yeah,
little track by track?
let's go back to not talking about a bunch of guys and
Yeah, do you want to do it then?
running
Shut
a train
up,
on
go.
Fine. Right, Lost. I talked about that. Reminds me of Avalanches. Dank, like it.
Good meme.
Ain't funny.
Ain't it funny?
Ain't it funny? Sorry. I think I thought it was good. Yeah. I said instrumentals start punchy up tempo, gets bouncy and fun later on. And I said flow is ... fun. Fix the song, but still very abrasive.
Yeah, it is kind of. Because you've got like the weird distorted horn in the background, but...
It's not too long. Again, it's quite a short track, and I think that helps. Because it's...
Funny how it happened?
Because it is quite a grating. It helps to be short and punchy, I think.
Rat cunt.
Not to sound like a rat.
Anyway, right. Gold Dust.
That is the song that's got the Joy Division sample in it, and it's got like, you know, guitars on the hook, just after the hook.
That's not good because I said instrumental is relatively dull compared to previous tracks. Oops.
Well, I've had a number of people and like reviewers say that that's the weakest track on the album because it doesn't really develop much.
Speaking of the weakest track on the album, let's talk about White Lines.
That which is not true.
What the fuck is this song?
It's about coke, isn't it?
Really?
Makes sense.
Just because it's about coke doesn't mean it has to be.
Yeah, but you asked what is this
horrendous.
song? I didn't say it's better and it's good and you should always think it's good. I want to hear your opinion on it. All right.
So, Flo is annoying and it sounds like he's in year 1 and he's just written himself a poem and he's standing in front of the class and they go, "Oh, come
About
up,
coke.
Danny, read your poem out," and he's going,
Read your poem about coke.
"I'll read my poem," and he fucking reads it in front of everyone, and like people just kind of smile. They're like, "Oh yeah, well done, Danny." They all want to kill themselves secretly.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I felt. Probably least favourite so far. Instrumentals, alright.
Of course.
As ever.
Yeah. Alright, Pneumonia.
Banger.
Mate.
Oh,
Bang.
in 30 minutes. Yeah. It's decent. Reminds me of Waka Flocka Flame a little bit.
Because the flow's kind of simple
yeah,
and just
it
hard
is.
hitting. Yeah.
It is. It's not. Yeah. Right.
No? Yeah?
Fair.
Yeah. I was about to say it's not really like the most complicated.
That
He makes
sounds.
he makes 30 bands in 30 minutes.
And before he counts out, he's damn near.
I'm just looking at these like track names right now, and I'm like trying to remember these.
So
Dance in the
what
Water,
was really-
muddled at the start. Danny sounds like he's almost dragging behind the beat.
I think there's a lot of talking heads in the song "Dance in the Water."
I would love to listen to like all these and hear all these influences on Danny Brown albums.
Yeah.
I just can't get past the voice.
Yeah.
Sam's done it. He's managed to get through an album.
Yeah, I didn't.
He
I
hasn't
didn't
got
make
past
it
the voice yet.
No,
No.
There were like parts where I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm getting used to it," and then there was like a song where he was really abrasive, and I was like, "No, fuck that."
Abrasive.
Abrasive. Right, and then there's From the Ground, which I've put sexy bass, chill but a little brooding. This has a feature on it, doesn't it?
It does.
It does a female feature. I've said the vocals are very sexy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
sort of quite sensual singing.
hot.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was good. Yeah, I said feature is decent. Right. Yeah.
That says a lot.
I feel like you should be arguing, like, no, the feature is the best thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's not.
You no, but like arguing something. Come on, mate. I'm calling your.
Can we please just
favourite
move on to
rapper
When
a
It
rat.
Rained? Can we move on to When It Rained, please?
Yeah. I think I do like When It Rained. Get High. He says furries in it, so I got triggered.
Does he actually?
Oh, he either says furries or furry.
I'm a little aroused.
Either way, I got
Probably
triggered.
furry. I don't.
Yeah.
He says the phrase "furry buzz."
Yeah, that's the one. I was
Ooh,
like,
hey.
fucking hell. I started like shaking, thinking of Mike and his.
I'm just looking at the first line on this, which is "I'm blowing on some miles, something kind of blue." So Miles Davis had an album called "Kind of Blue," right?
Oh,
So that's what he's referring to. But I
Yeah.
think that's a little bit lazy on the wordplay
It's a
side.
bit irrelevant, isn't it?
It is.
Can't
I
see
don't
the-
really
I
hear
don't
much jazz
see the
in it.
link. Yeah.
But the bit about furries, I mean, who knows?
Get High I wasn't a fan of. It's another slow jam.
Yeah.
Which means
I like the production on it, and that's why I remember it from the album. It's really hazy and...
Yeah.
I have to say, this doesn't sound like any of his other songs that he's made about taking drugs. It's worth noting that.
The final track, Hell for It. Meh.
Meh?
Meh.
You didn't like the kind of hard-hitting, kind of end-of-story type...
I like the beat. It's a mix of piano and what I thought was bongos. Sounded like bongos.
Saucy.
It was again decent instrumental, but then like
I'm gonna give him hell for it.
Yeah, then he comes in. And it's just like
if you had an album of instrumentals, would you like really love it?
I don't know. I think if you took the instrumentals off here and got a rapper
the acapellas of
who would
Death
work
Grips
a rapper
albums.
that I would
any suggestions?
just
blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
get a fucking MC Riley and go.
Oh dear.
That worked for me.
That would be great through every track, just not stop. Just stick the instrumentals on and have him go blah 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 instead of shut the fuck up, rat. Jesus Christ.
Sad today.
I'm sick of his cunt voice.
Jay's
Give this album 6 to a 7 out of 10.
How can you give it a 6 or 7 out of
You
10?
gave it a fucking road
You
six.
guys
You gave it a
roasted
better than
it.
average
It was
rating.
6 or 7 out of 10.
It's got promise. It's got promise.
Just get rid of him.
It's like it's like what all my teachers said to me. It's got promise. It's
Stop being a rat, they
It's
said.
not performing. It's a little autistic, but it's got promise.
Jesus Christ.
And those are my feelings on
Do you,
Just about as well as I
Atrocity
expected it to
Exhibition.
go.
yeah, well, do you have any
It's
thoughts?
very nicely titled.
Thoughts, Jay? Something to,
I think Sam made some good points. Some of the slower tracks I wasn't a massive fan of, and I think after When It Rained, the album does tail off a little bit. The last 3 tracks are perhaps, not too much, but after a few more listens, maybe I prefer them. Certain tracks on here that I absolutely loved. Tell Me What I Don't Know, really good. Didn't know the first couple of times I listened to it was Danny because
He doing
it sounds so different to everything else. Yeah, and I've not actually heard anything else of Danny's, so this was very different.
It's a baptism of fire, to be honest.
Really though, took me
Such
about
podcast.
3 seconds into the song for me to absolutely love it. As soon as the beat, the instrumental
Big boom
came in,
bap
I
instrumental.
knew I'd love it. Like I didn't,
The
Yeah,
beat.
and
I'm fairly
Ken-
sure that's what Sam thought at first, and then Danny's voice
The
kicked
beat
in.
is god
Yeah.
tier. But yeah, then Danny's voice comes in and you just go like, oh, Kendrick's coming. Just Kendrick will be there. He's at the chorus. Just make it to the chorus. And then
Kendrick's hook was great on it. I think honestly a lot of the things that Sam has said here I can agree on, but I don't get as bothered with Danny's vocals. They don't concern me so much, and for that reason I'd give it a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 rather than 6 or 7.
Hey, that's saucy.
That's the difference.
The only problem I had with Really Though, even though great track, I feel like there were too many features on it.
Really though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really though.
Because there were 3 different rappers and they all had their own verse.
4 different rappers. You know, Danny?
Yeah, I know.
Who's first
I mean,
verse?
like
3
features.
featuring.
3
3
features.
features. So like Danny had his verse, then Kendrick has his chorus, then one of the other guys has his verse, and then
Absol has his verse.
then there's a chorus, and
Kendrick.
then there's Kendrick's verse, and then there's Kendrick's chorus,
And then there's old
it just
Sweatshirt
keeps
finishes
going
it
on
off.
and on and
But
on.
that's what you.
It feels like kind of like they're just rolling out each rapper to just like
a lot of
do
rap
a
bangers
verse.
are like that. Though.
Oh, yeah.
It's them trying to compete who's got the
Yeah,
best verse.
it's classic rap, really. That's the way it's been done. The likes of NWA, that's how it's always been done. And I'm a fan of that sort of stuff. So going back to that sort of classic rap formula where it's almost like a, rap battle.
Yeah.
I think sounds really good, especially with the really great instrumental.
Yeah. You know what was better about the NWA though? It wasn't a group of fucking rodents.
Only one of the people on Really Though is a rodent.
Who?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The others aren't.
That's why Sam likes it best.
Yeah, because
He's a bit
the rat to human ratio is stronger.
I like it high for me. Rat to human ratio.
God's sake. Well,
Mike, have you even listened to this album?
I have not listened to it. Sam showed me a song as a good meme. He said, "I'm listening to this." We both laughed as soon as it started. Danny Brown started singing.
It was the start of White Lines.
Oh, okay.
Because we were both
Smoke so much I faint.
Exactly. Fucking hell. It made me wanna, like,
It doesn't start well.
I was just like,
it gets better.
Smoke so much I drank.
it's like, what the fuck are you? Where's the fucking bleach, boy? Give me it. I was, me and Mike heading up on the bus.
Yep.
And he's listening to Arctic Monkeys. I'm listening to Danny Brown, and he sees me just put my head in my hand.
The look in your eyes was golden.
And you just laugh at it, and I'm just like, listen to this shit. And it was smoke so much I think.
Okay, now I'd like to point out that this wasn't said to me on a podcast, but a very similar sentiment from Sam was kind of put across to me when he first listened to Death Grips.
That is true.
And we all know how he feels about Death Grips now.
He played it in the shower today.
So,
he did.
Sam, is there going to be...
shower music.
Well, actually, not forget, I'm not even asking you. I think there's going to be a moment of clarity, like there was with Death Grips, where you realise the value of some sort of rodent population in the rap.
Thing is, though, with Death Grips, I respected Death Grips a lot, so I was like, I'll keep going back to Death Grips, because the thing is, there's not much like Death Grips. Whereas
That's true.
there's lots of just rap to good beats.
There's loads of rap.
There's lots of rap to good beats, but there's not like rap to post-punk and like Joy.
The influences are interesting.
The influences are pretty unique.
This thing was crazy, Sam. It's like, you know the way that To Pimp a Butterfly was like jazzy. This was like all the jazz musicians were like given some ecstasy at the start of this.
Yeah.
And then just went fucking crazy on the horns and shit. Like this was something I've never heard before. You can't say this is like another decent beat with a rapper. This is something special, I think. To be fair, Danny's doing something different here.
That's fair, dude.
You can't deny that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't see the point where I mean I said this with Death Grips. I just don't see the point where I'll listen to that voice and go, oh, that's calming, isn't it? It's just so abrasive.
It's not
That's not why you listen. Not the purpose.
The reason I listen to music is to chill out.
Yep, and sing.
And
sing
you
in the
enjoy
shower.
Death Grips now.
Yeah, you can
listen
chill out
to it in the
Death
shower.
Grips.
I was literally in my room and I
Sometimes-
literally heard blah 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 from the shower.
Sometimes the best way to vent frustration is to just have a very loud black man scream in your ear for a little bit, and that's what Bottomless Pit is for me. No, but not squeal. Scream.
Ultimately, Sam, could you concede that in eventuality you may come to love, or even,
I feel like you
or even
actually
just
can.
maybe like this album
I
significantly?
feel like I could. I mean, I respect the album.
Really?
I respect the beat. I think the beats are good. It's got good production quality. It's just his voice. That's what I've come to appreciate.
Yeah, check back in a few months and see how
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll
the
keep you
progress has
posted, guys.
changed.
Yeah. I'll keep listening to it, and maybe I'll like it if I haven't hung myself in my clothes
Mate, rat poison.
after flipping listening to this too many times. I feel like there's a maximum amount of times a human can listen to White Lines before they break.
Some sort of Japanese torture method.
Yeah. It's just like, you think you're gonna get waterboarded and then just smoke so much and you're just like, ah,
kill me now, please.
it plays that single line at like random time increments. You don't know when it's
Just
coming.
throughout the night.
It will just like not play for like 2 hours and then it'll play. You slowly go insane.
That would break me. I'd be broken.
Break me.
Break me up inside.
Can't
Well.
break up.
Can't break up. So should we do some conclusions for this album?
Conclusions? Well, yeah, I up there.
Squeak,
album
squeak,
of the
squeak.
year.
Fuck off, Danny Brown. No.
It's up there for album of the year. It's honestly probably my number 2 after Death Grips Bottomless Pit. So, I mean, yeah, I guess the only complaint I have about it is the
You're
kind
in
of
the air a plane over the sea.
The shorter songs that don't develop as much instrumentally and aren't as memorable.
Julian, acknowledge my pun.
Shut the fuck up, Sam! I'm trying to explain here, mate! Come on!
Oh my god! There was violence! Puppy, don't do this!
I hate it when Mummy and Daddy fight.
Please get the authorities to take us away.
I will call someone to help.
Please.
I'll reach out for you.
I hate it when.
Go on, finish!
I hate it when Julian comes home from algebra lectures drunk and he beats me.
Jesus Christ. Well, I knew it was true, but now it's confirmed.
9 out of 10. Okay, let's talk about Arctic Monkeys.
Mouse out of 10.
Let's do it.
So, speaking of painful listening on the bus.
I feel like we've been in this last section. We've been, very very argumentative.
We've been very opinionated.
So I feel like as a middle section,
yeah,
we should all agree on something.
Yeah.
AM.
Yep, we'll start with AM.
AM.
Yeah. You go for it,
Utter
Sam.
shite. It's so bad.
It's pretty vapid.
It's got about 2 good tracks, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The first 2. And then why you...
It's a good sign.
And then why'd you only call me when you're high is alright.
I don't like that.
I really like it. It's dumb.
Favourite.
Yeah, I listened to the whole album. That was
possibly
the low
my least
point.
favourite track.
What's the point of it? Why
To be
does
honest,
it matter?
my friend
Anyway,
my friend listened to Arctic Monkeys for the first time 3 years ago when we used to play games and talk on Skype all evening, and he just would not stop singing that song, and that was all he would do in the Skype call was sing "Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High."
Jesus.
So it triggers me.
Jesus.
It's
Sam,
come on,
I
dude.
reckon
Come on,
you'd
dude.
have actually loved the album, but he ruined it for you.
I don't
I don't think that's what broke it for me, but
Yeah.
I think that broke it a little more for me.
See, I listened to it just today on the bus. I had heard bits from it, obviously, when it came out, but I refused to listen to it based on my own personal beliefs. I'll get to that in a second. But I listened to it today. It just blew me away how pointless it almost was.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change.
No, there is a point.
Oh, well, yeah.
To make a fucking wad of cash, mate, innit?
Yeah, boost his ego. Boost Alex Turner's ego.
Yeah, there's a
Boost
reason
his
why
wallet.
this episode's called The Rat and the Twat.
Yeah. So we've talked about the rat a lot. We've said a lot about the rat. We've made impressions.
See,
Now we talk about the twat, Alex Turner.
in my case, the lovable twat.
Well,
Alex, please
Sam.
text me.
well, Jesus Christ.
We'll be back to this
He's
again,
fucking
Sam.
sexy.
God,
I thought you wouldn't do that.
You've all got them, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck's sake.
we all did.
Do I need to come up with some
I don't think you need
Well,
to.
love
no.
interest artist?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Can
Go
you
on.
give me one episode to think about it?
No.
Well, we'll just drag you down
Right
to hell
now.
with us, and then at some
Right
point
now.
you'll be on our level.
No, I've got nothing.
Ah, fair.
I love them all.
Well, you're normal for the moment, but you need to be dragged.
Well, you
down
can
to our
have
level.
Bjork, but only after I'm done with her.
Okay.
And,
Savage.
you know what I mean? There's a list.
Savage.
Well, that's why we have a
How
list.
much
That's
is gonna
why
be
there's
left
a list
of her?
there.
Julian
How much?
beat us
Yeah.
today. Now he's getting violent with Bjork. Poor Bjork.
Bjork, run away.
Run away.
Into the city.
Into the
So
city.
Bjork will go with Julian because girls only like
Nice
don't
guys.
like nice guys.
They like puppies.
They like
He's our daddy. They only like daddies. Bjork
only
loves a
like
good
jerks.
daddy.
And Julian's a jerk.
Anyway, speaking of jerks,
Bjork, Julian's gonna ruin you. Stay away from him.
yeah, he
These
ruined
M&Ms
us.
are quite tasty.
They're tasty, like a city. Anyway, speaking of jerks, let's get back to Alex Turner. So, I'm going to overview briefly why I don't like Arctic Monkeys, and then I fancy.
We haven't.
No, this is
We're
this.
not-
this
We
is the
will
heads
come
up.
back to AM.
Oh.
We'll come back to AM. I want to do
I'm sure one of us.
a little bit, tiny bit album by
actually,
album.
No offense, Mike.
Yeah.
But as the kind of person who created this shit,
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to do a kind of strongman thing, where Sam builds up the opinion of the good, and then you fucking wrecking ball it into the ground with your better opinion. Sam.
Whoa.
Thanks, Julian. Thanks, Daddy.
Hell.
Go for it, Sam.
Hate it when Daddy picks favourites. Right. So Alex Turner, he's a bit of a twat, but he's a lovable twat. He's like.
Do you want to talk about their music or just him?
No, I'm talking. The music is him.
Yeah, no, it is.
It
That's
is.
my first
Explain.
complaint. My
Explain.
first complaint is that.
Yeah, right. I thought we were just talking about Alex Turner. I didn't realise we were just doing an overview on Arctic Monkeys. Alright, so Arctic Monkeys, you probably know them. I don't need to talk about them. But when they started out, which is the music that I like the most, I'd say Jay probably likes the most as well. They were sort of just... Well, they started on YouTube, actually.
Did they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nor did I.
So we have very much in common with Arctic Monkeys. We're starting on YouTube.
And we're
I
gonna
started
make
on
it big.
YouTube.
They'll
probably
say-
back
And
around
sell
when I
out.
did.
They'll say in 5 years.
Yeah.
These guys started on YouTube.
Give it 10 years time, we'll all have slick back hair and look like absolute twats.
And be absolute
I
twats.
did on Saturday night, to be fair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you did.
Mm.
Though you looked hot as hell. Anyway,
Yeah, I would.
diverging from that. So they put out
Pretty
their
sure
first.
that's incest. Anyway, moving on.
He is your daddy, Sam. Don't
Fuck's
disappoint,
sake.
Daddy. Continue with your
I'm
point.
talking about Arctic Monkeys.
He'll hit you again
Stop
if you
giving
don't
me
keep
the-
talking.
Stop giving me the fucking podcast kink logistics. Anyway. Right. So they put out their first album called
Whatever people say I am,
That's What I'm Not.
I actually like this album.
Yes.
This is
good.
Well, I can agree with you on what you
It's
say.
a good
probably,
album.
yeah.
It's lovely. It's just a bunch of lads who have just formed a
A
band.
bunch of lads.
bunch of
Right, I'm
Sheffield
going to do
lads.
this. A bunch of lads making a nice album,
Mm.
and you know, because
It's
I'm giving up.
Right,
I was thinking about what I was going to say after. I'm like, I can't do that. Let's not make even more of a fool of myself. It's just a bunch of lads talking about sort of clubbing experiences that they've had, and it's very relatable. It's just kind of cheeky. That's the thing.
It is cheeky.
And that's
I get
what
that
makes the
feel.
album so good. Is
Yes.
Alex Turner's cheeky
And how old,
lyrics.
just out of interest, you know how old Alex was when,
I believe.
or like roughly, you know?
It's probably around like 19, 20.
Mm.
Yeah, right. See, that's the difference. Like, I know, I'm sure we'll get onto it, but the things they try and sing about and talk about in AM, when they're like 30 or whatever it was, doesn't.
But they're not
it
even
doesn't
singing
really-
about anything.
It doesn't really relate.
That's
What are you even
exactly
singing
it.
about?
It's like well, you can't sing about that.
I know.
anymore.
That's
Sorry,
why
but
it's just no
try and-
content to the
They
lyrics.
didn't progress in a decent way.
There's no point
Whereas, like,
at all.
if I bring
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
I agree.
it's just.
There's a lot more worse with AM, by the way. It's not just that.
Yeah, well,
we'll get.
We'll
onto
get
it.
there.
Yeah, but it's that album. It's just so memorable because it's almost like every song is its own little story about a night
A
out.
little bit, yeah.
It's great. You know, I bet that you look good on the dance floor. Great tune. Everyone knows
I love it.
Agreed.
It's
even I like
fantastic.
it.
It's great.
Their early stuff's where
Yeah, the view from the
some great
afternoon
songs come from.
it's
It's my favourite Arctic Monkeys song.
is it?
Yeah.
it's
Really?
pretty good. It's not bad.
It's yeah. I find that I remember like the main ones on this, and the view from the afternoon is one of those ones that I forget.
Oh,
for some
really?
reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If I like heard the first bar of it, I'd remember it, but just from the names, because all these names
These
are
names are
long.
about, they're like a paragraph
Yeah.
each.
I bet that you could.
Pretty much.
And then Fake Tales of San Francisco, I think that's my favourite Arctic Monkeys song.
Okay.
It's just about a shite band that's playing at a wedding reception, and they're trying to be cool and they're not cool, and the lyrics are just so great. Like, the band are fucking wank and I'm not having a nice time. Which got changed in the radio version to the band aren't very good and I'm not having a nice time. Which is Dancing Shoes. All of these are just... The way I would describe this album is cheeky.
Yep.
It's
I
cheeky.
agree. No, I like the attitude of the
Cheeky
album.
or lovable.
Yep.
Lovable northern cheek.
This album makes sense to exist.
Yes.
It's the cheek of his, early 20s,
Is there like
late teens.
Is that kind of
era.
like a persona that he started out with on that, or
Or
is
does
this
that
album,
develop?
is this album like the most realistic kind of depiction of Alex
I
Turner
think that's
that you
just
get in
him.
the Arctic
I
Monkeys?
feel like it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're just a bunch of lads from Sheffield. They just formed a band. And that's another funny story. The reason the drummer is the drummer in Arctic Monkeys is because when they all picked who was doing what instrument, he turned up late, so he got drums. And now he's a decent drummer.
Wow.
Only decent.
Only decent.
Yeah, I mean he's not like, well, he's pretty good.
Cool. You're really selling it.
I'm not gonna like blow them out of proportion and say these guys are gods. No one can compete with the.
I'll bring them back down if you do. Don't worry. I'll bring them back down.
Lyrical prowess of Alex Turner, but yeah. But Alex Turner did some side projects and stuff. He did a soundtrack for the movie Submarine. Which a great film,
directed by Richard
Doherty, a guy from the IT Crowd.
Oh,
what, the guy with the big hair?
Yeah,
he directed a Radiohead video.
A Doherty.
Good. Adewadi, right?
Let's
I
do
say
some
Adewadi.
fact
I swear I've heard it a Doherty.
Says Greek.
I'm retarded. Just forget.
Him.
The guy who
Ayoade.
You know
where's the C in that?
I don't know. I heard it's a
Socrates.
Socrates. Richard Socrates. He directed the film. It's a great film. He also
He's a good director.
made another band called The Last Shadow Puppets, which at this point in time I like more than Arctic Monkeys. Or I like current Last Shadow Puppets more than I like current Arctic Monkeys.
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But which he formed with a friend, Miles Kane, who is a guitarist and a singer, and an orchestra, and they just make some great tunes.
Some decent tunes.
Okay.
Some great tunes.
Some decent tunes.
My favourite song ever is off their first album.
Your favourite song ever?
Wow.
All the time.
One because it's good, and two because it's become a meme with our friends.
But you shouldn't
like
music just because it's...
No,
there's ever a reason to like a song.
What's the point in this podcast if it's not me?
No, it's a wonderful song. I love the song. But it's just like brought up to God's status because it became a meme.
So is that why you're some like Death Grips now?
Death
Sort
Grips
of,
are
yeah.
a decent meme.
They're a pretty good meme.
They make me
The
laugh.
bits I used to hate,
this
I laugh
sort
at
of
now.
God
That's what
meme
Sam does
sound.
as well.
Would you guys find
I'm gonna give
God
this
meme?
10,000 meme points for it's a Sam Dance meme. Anyway, back on topic. And then you get the next album, Favourite Worst Nightmare, which has
got, I think, my favourite Arctic Monkey song in it.
It's got my favourite on it.
Adolescent.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm's a great song.
Love Brainstorm.
What's yours?
Mine's First and Adolescent from this album. I've only listened to those two songs on this album. I ran out of time. I've probably heard a couple more from it, maybe.
Do your fucking homework, Mike.
I tried.
Normie.
Sam told me which ones to listen to. In
Don't
a
make
rush.
us delay this show.
I told
No,
you.
you. I'll give you this album. I will give you this album. You've won this album
Yeah,
automatically.
it's great. It's
Fair.
lovely.
I feel like I get the feeling, like just guessing, it's similar to the first.
It is quite similar.
It is.
It's come out
It's not
this year,
quite.
It's a little dark.
What's the difference?
It's not quite as good,
Okay.
I don't think.
No, but it's still good.
Fair. Well, that sort of makes sense as a follow-up.
Like the thing I like imagine is like whatever people say that's not what I'm not is like I know this is gonna sound really really stupid, but that's club nights out and Favourite Worst Nightmare is house parties. I don't know why
Okay.
there's just
It's
like
good. It's good.
Could be to do
It's
with the
like
album
that.
cover.
yeah it could be to do with the album cover, which is a house.
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
house.
But yeah,
At night with the lights on inside.
So we'll see.
and
Yeah,
like
there's that.
some like monsters in there as well. I don't know.
Don't know. God knows.
Spooky.
Spooktober.
Spooktober.
I'm scared. Anyway.
Yeah.
along, Sam.
So and then you get to Humbug, which Mike's not a fan of this, but
This is why I say it goes off the rails.
Here we go. Okay, let's let Mike take the wheel now.
Okay,
Go.
so I agree pretty much with everything you said about whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not.
yes.
And I have to agree with you about the second album, Favourite Worst Nightmare, because I haven't listened to it properly. What happens is...
homework. Sorry.
Yeah. What happens is... So I think their first album has a point, there's a purpose there.
Yeah.
It's quite good. To use a pun from the last song on the album, it does have a certain romance to
Fucking
it.
kill me.
It does. It has a point.
God.
He did it. He told me. He fucking did it.
No, I planned that pun. That pun.
He told me about that 2 days ago.
I did it.
And he was like, I'm going to say this on the podcast.
I don't go around while we're on campus saying, I'm going to do an AV scream at some point. I will surprise you.
I did it for you, Bjork. I did it for you.
And you surprised me with it and take 10 years off my life.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I like the feel of the first album. It makes sense.
Less podcast episodes.
What happens is I think they run out of purpose.
500 fewer. 20.
Wow, you're interrupting me. Rude, Daddy. Rude. I can't believe what I say sometimes on this podcast.
Don't talk to your daddy like that. It's going to get out of the belt again.
No, don't hit me, please. I'm really scared. York, save me. Anyway, right. So let's move on to Humbug. This is the one I've been looking forward to talking about. Right. I think it completely goes off the rails of Humbug. I think there's no point in him. There's no point in the album existing. I think Alex Turner. You love Humbug.
I love Humbug.
Alex Turner hit a
I love
vein.
all of them.
Alex Turner hit a vein with people with his first album. This second album has got no point. And third album. You're right, third. No, it is third. Second one I listened to. Third album. He's run by this point. He has run out of defining characteristics for a new album. There's like nothing new. What happened was right. It does sound different. The album. The reason being, and I found this out, they have someone producing it. From a band you may know. We should do an episode on them, by the way. This is me making Julian do an episode at some point.
Alright, let's go.
This is Queens of the Stone Age. Their frontman, Josh Homme, he was a producer on Humbug, and almost entirely every single song is defined by the sound he brings. It sounds so much like Queens of the Stone Age. It really does. Like the way that they do the guitar riffs. Like, it's not as good as Queens of the Stone Age. No, it's not. And it's got Alex Turner's voice, which is just not quite as good as Josh Homme's, I don't think, for the type of music they're doing. I just think it has a very obvious influence from Josh Homme. And my second problem is, which is my problem with all his albums, the pacing for his songs seems off. This is a big complaint from me. This is what put me off originally when I first listened to him. It's just his vocals are just non-stop, and they become the only thing that matter. The instrumentation becomes basically invisible once he starts doing verse, chorus, verse, and getting into his lyrics, which they might be good. They're not good on Suck It and See. I'll get to that.
Fuck off,
mate. I'll get to that. I'm going to do some readings.
Fight me right now.
No, I'll do some readings. We'll do it in the next album. We'll get there in a few minutes. Right, although they may be good, I don't know if they are or not. They're constant, and the
lyrics on Humbug are like the best. That's why Humbug's good.
Well, yeah, but they're just just blur into nothing, and they're so forgetful. Like I couldn't name a single track off of Humbug, really. I can't remember off the top of my head. I listened to it only once. You are right there. But if I listen to an album once, I can at least name one track usually, and I just couldn't with this one. So I don't know why that was. Well, maybe it's for the reasons I said, maybe. But yeah, I just think that I have a bit of a theory that Alex Turner, he wanted to do something new, maybe. He wanted to keep his sort of, I don't know, not edgy, but like his ego persona up. And he sort of run out of ideas and borrowed it from Josh Homme, who, by the way, has got an amazing ego-like persona. He's really out there. If you don't know about him, Jay might know. He's sort of really quite confident bloke.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a pimp. I would make love to him. He's going on the list. Confirm. Right.
Can we get some fucking females on this list?
I'm adding the good males.
Courtney Barnett.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
She might as well come on because it's a sausage fest at this point. So token person.
Not sure any female would join this list.
So I'd say.
Bother.
Well, again, to summarise Humbug, it's boring. The defining characteristic is borrowed from someone else. It's got almost no point. I genuinely sat there through the whole album like, this is just Queens of the Stone Age, but worse. It's just not as good. And I got bored. Let's move on to Suck It and See.
Wait, can I give my counter argument?
Let's have a rebuttal from Sam.
I haven't listened to Queens of the Stone Age, so I can't see it from that point of view.
Okay. When you do, you might have a realisation
I would say that the lyrics on Humbug are the strongest lyrics of any Arctic Monkeys album, or at their high points.
Yep.
The lyrics on Humbug are better than any others.
Okay.
My Propeller, it's a bit like
I do actually remember
the
that
lyrics
now.
are just
That was
about
right.
like pretty much jerking him off, I think.
My Propeller.
Good start.
It sounds like that.
Cool.
Have a spin of My Propeller. Nice one, Alex. Good lad.
Good start.
Crying Lightning is great. The opening
He's
verse.
great.
The opening verse is very good, and it incorporates pick and mix.
Does it?
Which is always a
Oh
plus.
shit.
Yeah.
I have to pay respect.
Outside the cafe by the cracker factory, she was practicing a magic trick, and my thoughts got lewd as she talked and chewed on the last of her pick and mix.
I thought
And
that was
then
actually quite good.
And then
No, I
it
didn't like
goes,
that
and then
song,
it
actually.
goes through all the sweets she's eating. And
No, that is
different
quite good.
thoughts
I
that
do
Alex
remember that
Turner has.
Oh yeah.
I
That
can't
was-
remember what happens when she's.
That was quite saucy.
Let's move on.
But again, the instrumentation in
yeah.
the background was just riffs from Queens of the Stone Age. It just was.
Dangerous Animals is meh. Secret Door I really like, but I wouldn't say it's lyrically good. I'd just say I like the way it's structured. I like that it's the sort of at the end there's sort of almost an explosion of instrumentation, and it's really cool, and I like it a lot. I always like get to the point where just the track explodes and I turn it up full volume and deafen myself. Potion approaching.
We're gonna go through the whole thing.
Sounds like it, doesn't
Cornerstone's great. Dance Little Liar's really
Okay,
good.
we get the
We're
point
doing
of-
the whole
we get the
really
point
good
of view
thing.
rebuttal now.
Yeah.
The next one.
The point of the
next
rebuttal
one's my
is
favourite.
this song's good.
Yeah, they've
I
got
just
good
think-
lyrics, but
I can't tell the difference between
I'll
the
give
songs.
you the
I
fact
can't.
that if it is basically if they took the whole of the
They did- you need to
instrumentation
hear
off
Queens
of
of
Queen of
Stone
the
Age.
Stone Age,
They did.
I can understand.
But that's
how
because
that-
the instrumentation is irrelevant for Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
It's literally all about Alex Turner.
pretty much.
And I think he had a point for his lyrics in the first album. And the instrumentation was good in the first album. It's, sort of stuff you'd find,
Indie classic.
Indie
punk rock.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. But past the first album, there's no point. And I feel like, a little bit, he's singing out his arse. A little bit. And it gets worse. We're moving on to Suck It and See.
Suck It and See has.
Well, you can't say that you love the
Look,
Arctic
I
Monkeys.
understand that Brick by Brick is trash.
Okay, let
Brick by
me
Brick
read you a
is-
quote from Brick by Brick.
Brick by Brick.
Which I wrote a note as, when I was reading it, as seriously, haha, kill me. That's why I put as a note. Let me read the quote. I want to build you up, brick by brick. I want to knock you down,
Brick by Brick.
I want to steal your soul,
Brick by Brick. I want
to rock and roll.
Brick by
How
Brick.
bad is that?
Yeah,
It's so
trash.
bad.
I always skip.
So Suck It and
Brick by
See.
Brick.
So we've got this
That's
pointless
actually worse than All for
instrumentation,
One.
and we've got the only thing that drags it forward, Alex
I don't think
Turner.
anything's worse than All for One.
No, that's worse than All for One.
Well, I've got another bad quote. I've got another bad quote
you
from
can't just-
another song. This is another song on the
I know,
album.
Don't sit down because I moved your chair.
Yeah, here we go from Don't Sit Down Because I Moved Your Chair.
You have taken two stiffies. Just go ahead.
They're quite big snippets from two songs, and they
Sam's
basically
just
sum up the
getting really
song.
salty that
I
Mike-
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You
Let
really
me go,
are.
let me go.
You really
Let me go.
He's been quiet for your arguments.
Bite the lightning, but tell me how it tastes. Kung fu fighting on your roller skates. Do the Macarena in the devil's lair, but just don't sit down because I've moved your chair.
It's the
That's
stupid.
bad.
What does it mean?
It's the stupid.
Why? What is the point? What the hell is that?
Rhymes, Mike,
The
it
point
rhymes.
is it makes cash.
Oh my god!
Makes cash.
So he's gone from a mostly pointless album where he steals Queens of the Stone Age sound
To
to
a
an
complete
utterly
cash
pointless. Yeah. Well, speaking of cash grab, AM. But this one makes no sense. Neither of them make sense. I can't listen to them.
I would,
There's just nothing, no content
as a
for me.
counterpoint, I would
Go for
say,
it.
yeah, the lyrics on Suck It and See, most of the songs
Are laughable. They're laughable.
are
lyrics.
laughable. Yeah,
They're pretty bad.
but I would say the defining point for me in Suck It and See is the vibe of Suck It and See. It's got a much happier and brighter vibe than the other albums, and I like it.
Does.
And
You
I
sound
like
like-
it because of that. It's just sort of a
Helps you laugh at the lyrics, I suppose.
I think a defence that a lot of people give to AM is that it's got a certain vibe that they like.
Well,
I would, and it's not happy vibe like you said, but they say it's a darker vibe. But
I don't really
say the vibe.
It feels just kind of empty, the instrumentation on. AM.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
really
overall,
but
it's a little bit
people
deeper
think
and moodier in some ways. You got.
Well, do you know what I heard when I listened to AM? I heard the Queens of the Stone Age instrumentation come back, and it's not as obvious, but it is there. You can listen to it.
I actually think that
on Arabella,
Arabella.
I'm pretty sure they nicked a guitar solo for Arabella.
I think they did, probably.
Just taken a guitar solo from a song and put it in their song.
Their songs are very paint by numbers most of the time.
Which is... That heartbroke me when I found out that the guitar solo from Arabella was stolen. Because that's like the one thing that makes Arabella a good song is the guitar solo, and they've just nicked it.
Well, I've heard it before, the guitar solo. I've heard that sort of stuff from lots of other bands. That's what I think. But that's my problem. The first album... It was something new, and they hit a vein. They hit a vein.
There was a
Their
niche,
songs
there was a
are
hole
great.
in the market.
Yeah, there was. They had it. They were. He was the coolest guy in town. He was actually the best. They'd hit something.
Yeah.
Then they had no point.
And then when they got to AM, they cut along the vein.
Well, I think they did that a little earlier. I think it started.
I
think it started with Humbug.
I think Mike makes a lot of good points, and what I hear in AM is a lot of the Black Keys actually. I think that the first two albums had their own thing. And then, as you were saying, they kind of run out of ideas. They're looking for a direction to go. They see the likes of Queens of the Stone Age and Black Keys, and I think they just changed their music to sound more like the likes of those.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Artists, and not with so much success because it doesn't work in the same way. Those two are from America.
Yeah.
You know,
it's weird having his northern
it doesn't fit in with the
over
Sheffield
the top.
stereotype.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
No.
That's the thing. Is the AM. What I hate so much about AM is the original feeling of Arctic Monkeys is completely gone.
Yeah, it's
they've taken. You've got
the
original like punky, cheeky Arctic Monkeys, and it's just been like mashed down into this pulpy mess
by the Twat
which can just be sold to everyone, and everyone will be like, "Oh, I like this song.
Yeah,
we can play this."
But it's paint by numbers.
But it's
you can't. There's nothing interesting about them.
You can't play it Prees.
Their original album, you can play it Prees
because everyone will go
it's
from
lovable.
flipping drinking vodka to drinking bleach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
Especially if you play knee socks.
Yeah.
I know you like that song, Ronan. Shut the fuck up. It's terrible.
I'm sorry, Ronan. Please don't kill me if we ever meet.
I'm pretty. You've already met.
Well, we have met, but we meet again. You know, after he's heard this. He seemed like a good bloke when I met him, but maybe he won't like me next time. Nah, maybe a lot of people won't like me next time.
Okay.
Go on, Julian. He's got his hands up. He wants to say something.
Are we done with our opinions? Do we have any other scores to settle with?
No.
Or
So
have we
final
got
notes. Overall, the reason I don't like them. So these are my specific album hates. The overall reason is in every single song for Arctic Monkeys, or pretty much almost, it's just off. It's just non-stop barrage of. That's why I don't like them. I never have. Other than the first album.
Yeah. I like them because they felt like they didn't have a point.
Yep.
Arctic Monkeys albums have diminished in quality since the start.
Yeah, they have.
With maybe going up a little bit to Favourite Worst Nightmare. I think.
As in it's gone better than.
Yeah. Sometimes I think Favourite Worst Nightmare is better than.
I think they have a similar
one.
sort. They're in a similar era, so he's still on the public, vein. He's on something.
Yeah, I'd say. I think we can all agree. AM's a piece of trash.
Yep.
If you like it, you're trash.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite happy. I've covered my thoughts.
I feel like we've had a very.
I think this has been a good structured debate.
This has actually been
I've enjoyed
more
this.
civilised than I thought.
It's been a lot more civilised than I thought. Although it's now 1 hour 6 minutes since we started recording.
Damn boy, making up for those 5 minutes we didn't record
in the last episode.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to.
We bid farewell to Jay.
Oh.
Have you had a nice fun time, Jay?
It's been an experience.
Any last words before we off you?
Say something about
please,
Shark Tale.
Please let me go.
Okay.
Haha. Funny joke, Jay. Haha.
No, please.
As if we were.
You're never escaping. You're ours now.
Go on, Daddy. Speak.
So.
Yeah, Daddy.
Go on, Daddy. Get it on track. Oh
yeah, and the podcast, Daddy.
Oh, right on the track, Daddy. Right back to the point. Oh
my my god! Fuck's sakes, I'm so tired.
We're all so tired. We're sorry, Jay.
You can
sorry,
tell
sorry.
that it's 11:30 right now.
Yeah.
We're getting a tad delusional.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
So long, and thanks for all the memes.
Bye.
Au revoir.